Good morning. We're looking at Psalm 52 this morning. As I said, we get with the Psalms, not just the numbering of it, but we sometimes get these subtitles that tell us musical instructions or possible context. Here it says in Psalm 52, this is a time when somebody had betrayed David. Somebody had betrayed him to Saul, Dog the Edomite. So if we have that as a context, hear now what David prays. Why do you boast of evil, you mighty hero? Why do you boast all day long? You who are a disgrace in the eyes of God, you who practice deceit, your tongue plots destruction. It's like a sharpened razor. You love evil rather than good, falsehood rather than speaking the truth. You love every harmful word. You deceitful tongue, surely God will bring you down to everlasting ruin. He will snatch you up and pluck you from your tent. He will uproot you from the land of the living. The righteous will see and fear. They will laugh at you and say, "Here now is the man who did not make God his stronghold, but trusted in his great wealth and grew strong by destroying others." But I am like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what you have done, I will always praise you in the presence of your faithful people, and I will hope in your name, for your name is good. Okay, so again, we will recognize that the Psalms don't necessarily clean up for us. They are raw. They are where life is at. The rubber hits the road. They are not necessarily meritorious. It's not necessarily that the things that we see at the Psalm express is somehow right to express or feel that way. We've seen this lots. Just remember what it's like when somebody really turns their back on you, when somebody betrays you, when somebody really wounds you deeply. That is some raw pain. That's when invective will come out of you. You will be mad, you will be angry, you will feel such strong feelings, and that's what David's feeling. He feels betrayed by this man. He feels like somebody tried to really do him real harm. And so he prays this. He writes this psalm and he writes it out. The only thing that I think is meritorious is really verse 8. After kind of launching out this invective about this terrible person who did this terrible thing to him and kind of cursing him with his words, here then is what David says, "But I am like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what you have done, I will always praise you in the presence of your faithful people. I will hope in your name, for your name is good." Even after all that, even after a real trauma, even after suffering at the hands of another, what is David's deepest conviction? What's he truly convinced of? He's convinced that he's safe. He's convinced that as he's with God in his temple, in his space, he flourishes like an olive tree. That God's unfailing love is ultimately the only protection he needs in this world, even when people come after him. I think that's a beautiful thought. I wonder if you could take a minute and just meditate on that. Even if you're feeling threat, worry, fear today, just say with David, "But I am like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever." Grace and peace to you on this day.